lots of different directions that we can go tonight, but obviously a little bit of a slow start and then got a tremendous boost by our bench early on. And we're really pleased with Steph Talbot's energy, had a really, really big game on both sides of the ball, and her energy was contagious with that second group, Ray Burrell and Zaya, Leja. They all gave us, a really big spark, and at one point built as much as an 8-point lead. Unfortunately, second quarter, they got away from us a little bit, gave up 33 points. We tried to make some adjustments, disappointed with some of our defensive slippage in a back-to-back game on things that we were trying to accomplish. Continued to compete all the way to the final. Again, got it back into single digits, but obviously not good enough on a night where those three superstars for them had 47 first half points. And then Kayla Thornton came alive, recipient of good kick out passes and knocked down a bunch of threes in the second half to supplement their big three. So did a lot of good things, but our group is learning that it's a very thin line between winning and losing, and we're just having enough slippage that defensively we can't give up 98 points and expect to win, despite a good night offensively in terms of made baskets of 29 and got to the foul line 17 more times than our opponent. Just not good enough defensively to win that game.
Start questions on Zoom from Infinity TV first.
Hey, this question is for Dearica, DJ from Infinity TV. Dearica, 20 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. This game has your performance improved from the first game in the road trip. What are some elements of to this afternoon's game that you're proud of in your personal performance?
Yeah, I think the last couple games, going back to Minnesota, teams are starting to scout us a little differently, and there's heavy congestion. And I think tonight was the first night I was actually just really patient when I caught the ball. Just kind of tried to see how things played out before I went to make a move. So I think my patience helped me a lot tonight.
Hey guys, this is Jude from Infinity TV. This question's for Stephanie. I'm just curious, you've seen a bigger workload in the past 3 games, especially against the Liberty and then the Sun. How do you just kind of keep yourself mentally and physically ready, with, you're needing more minutes ahead?
Yeah, that's all part of being a pro, is being ready when your number's called. I think it's hard to keep fit, keep your touch when you're not playing, but that's what we have to do in this league.
Okay, we'll move to Jonathan on Zoom.
Hello, this is questions for Dearica. Jonathan Softwell, Big Baby Sports. Your play this season has been great, even as the team faces challenges. What mindset and approach helps you stay focused and maintain such a high level of play despite the obstacles?
I think, in order for this team to be successful, I have to be at my best every night. And like we know we're kind of rebuilding, but we still want to compete, and we have enough to compete. So I just have to bring my best every night.
Okay, next question's from Jim Harlan. Okay, we'll move on. So thank you, ladies. You guys are good to go. Wait, yeah. Yeah. Oh.
Hey there, I'm sorry. I wanted to know, with the loss of Cameron, do you look at that and think, or make a decision about what role you play for the team now? Does it change in any way? Does it get larger? Is there any difference with her absence?
No, I haven't thought about it in that way. It's heartbreaking. And you can kind of tell in the Connecticut game, we got a little bit defeated about it. But she's cheering us on. We're cheering her on. And the next man up.
So you said you have to be at your best for this team to compete. Mm-hmm. What is that like for you every night going in, having that?
Yeah, I just have to always come in with high energy, every night. Like I said, defense has kind of changed, seeing more congestion lately. But the thing that I can kind of control is my energy and my motor. And usually if I'm high in that area, I'm going to have a good night.
And then one more question for you and Curt. I want to know, with the addition of Queen Ekbo to the team, how do you see her fitting in with you on the floor if you guys are going to get into?
Yeah, I think it's nice to have somebody that's super physical. which we kind of miss at times. But I think her 3 minutes were good tonight. You know, she got an O board and then or 2 rebounds and then hit a jumper. But just appreciate her getting here as fast as she did and just kind of locking in on what we have going on.
Curt, how do you envision using Mineco going forward? It was her first game.
Yeah, obviously a lot to catch up on with any kind of replacement player coming in right before the game. Not even having a shoot around is really difficult a situation for any player. But Queen is a pro, has been in the league now for a few years and has played with different teams. Her strength is her physicality, or her strength is her ability to rebound and defend. And so, you know, she gives us some post depth until we get Azare back. And obviously with the Cameron injury, we're thin now with true post players.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Liz. First question for Curt will be from Infinity.
Hey, Coach, DJ from Infinity TV. We've seen Zaya Cook really come alive here in this series against New York. Can you speak a little bit about her contribution tonight and how you plan to take some of those attributes into the next games moving forward?
Yeah, Zaya, you know, to her credit, as we've always talked about the unintended consequence, the illness to Lexi Brown in the rotation as we find minutes for Rikia Jackson as the starting 3. Kia Nurse has been shuffled down to the 2 as Lexi Brown off the bench. With Lexi's injury, Zaya, the unintended consequence of an illness is it opens up the opportunity for minutes, and she took advantage of those like she's capable. She's a really talented hunter of the offensive end. She stayed aggressive. She stepped up and found her spots tonight. And again, that's the efficiency we're looking for, you know, going 5 for 10. You know, that's the kind of efficiency that we need out of her, you know, especially at the offensive end. So proud of her that she was ready. That's a real sign in a second year pro's growth to stay ready. Again, we talk about it all the time. You go from a DNP potentially one night, and tonight she plays nearly 17 minutes. And how you handle that and are ready for those opportunities, you know, says a lot about where you're at in your career. So proud of Zaya. She took advantage of her opportunity here in New York in both games. And it's going to be rewarded because she was ready. So excited for her. I know how desperately she wants this and just loves this game and, you know, and puts work into this game. So, you know, proud of Zaya.
Hey, Coach, Jude from Infinity TV. I know it's been a rough road trip, you know, not really seeing any wins in the column so far, but I'm curious about, you know, you've been someone very talkative about growth and wanting to see your players grow. How have you kind of kept that a message on this road trip while the wins aren't stacking up? Just seeing the growth in players like DJ just talked about, Zaya, Ari, that's had a really good performance so far this road trip. How do you kind of keep that a similar message beyond just the wins and losses?
Yeah, I think you have to, you know, compartmentalize and show them areas that, you know, like we did good things tonight. In 29 made baskets, 26 foul shot attempts. Our turnovers were, you know, down, and still felt like we had some turnovers that we can still get rid of. But so, you know, there's growth in some areas. I think both games against New York, we showed stretches of really good offense. More concerning to me is, you know, I've just been fortunate to have some of the best defensive teams over the last 9 years. And, you know, we've hung our hat through the years of my teams with maybe not the most talented offensive teams at times, but incredible defensive teams, and trying to build that kind of mindset with this group. Tonight, we had 7 players in their first year playing with me out of the 10. So it is hard. We're 17 games in. I want us to be better defensively than where we're at right now. But I believe 7 of the 10 players that played tonight are in their first year with me. So, you know, there's obviously some grace that we've got to get better, but there's got to be an urgency with this group to get better. We also are very young. There's a lot of players in their first, second years, or definitely under 3 years. out of those 10 that played tonight, we got, nearly half probably that are in that boat, that are in their second year, third year or less in this league. So we understand the youth, but there's got to be an urgency of growth at the defensive end. And that's where I shared what we need to have the urgency and the competitiveness to grow faster at the defensive end.
And I guess I'll just add on to that. Have you seen that urgency in this road trip? Is that something you've seen, or you're still really wanting more of it?
I think, desiring more. Again, I think we did some things well offensively in stretches in both New York games. I thought we did some good things defensively against Connecticut. So we can use those two teams as two of the three best teams in the league as measuring sticks, but it's just not consistent enough, either side of the ball. We've got to find some consistency despite our youth. Those we can turn some of these losses that are within reach into wins.
How do you create that urgency? How do you?
We got to keep teaching. But then there's also, an element of demanding, and, obviously playing time is something everybody wants. It's the ultimate, the ultimate motivator is everyone wants to be on the floor. So we have these 9 games in 18 days have been really tough. And then emotionally in the middle of it, a really serious injury to, a budding star. So, I just got to keep teaching. At the same time, we've got to demand. And then if that's not working, we can motivate in different ways.
We'll move to Ray on Zoom.
Hey, Coach. Ray Morali from the Sporting Tribune. You guys have 5 days off, so what's going to be the focus for the team before you guys play in Phoenix?
Yeah, there's going to be some days off for this Commissioner Cup break, but we'll get back to work and have a couple of practices before Phoenix. So we don't play for multiple days, but we'll get back to work and get a few good practices, really, really important practices in before we go to Phoenix.
Okay, last question is going to be from Tyler on Zoom.
Hey, Coach, a little bit of an off-topic question, and I know it's not the first time you've coached against John Quell, but what is it like for you to go up in game playing against her, given all the time spent together?
Yeah, we have a great relationship. There's great respect for each other. I watched her. This stat is not talked about enough. She's the lowest drafted player in the history of the WNBA to become an MVP. It's not talked about enough, and it shows that she's earned everything that she's got, and she's an incredible player, even better person. I loved our time together. We laughed, we celebrated tons of success, her individual success, our team success. We cried in those game 5 losses in the championships because we were just so close to hoisting that trophy together. So we will be bonded for life. And so I'm a genuine fan. She was making fun of me the other night in the first game. She was rewatching the game and screenshotted when I was literally trying to guard her from the sideline. We laughed about it. Still, that's the kind of relationship that we had, that she was hitting me up in between these 2 games. So again, there's incredible amount of respect, love her to death. I hope she gets everything she ever dreamed of, because she's that person. She is that human. So I can't say enough great things about JJ and wish her, all the flowers she deserves and gets.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.